Welcome to the Shellanomics podcast, your source for pure Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles entertainment, presented by King Mictus.
Well, greetings all. We have a special Shellanomics episode here for you. It's been a long time since we've done our own little monologue podcast, and we're just going to let this microphone run unedited. And we're here to celebrate 1 year of Shellanomics. Last year, we considered changing our YouTube channel. It's not that we didn't have enough growth on there from our Twitch streams, just we were playing a lot of Marvel Snap, which I still have. I'll take that back. I don't play as much, but I did run an alliance, and we had a lot of footage for that, and it seems like our alliance is still running well, so that's good to know. We had a lot of video game playthroughs. When we first started Twitch, we wanted to try and beat as many games as we could. And we just would play the endings. We beat over 500 different video games. But Ninja Turtles was always something I've been passionate about since I was a kid. We've watched the Fred Wolf series time and time again. We're very in-depth with the old Playmates figures. We had a great turtle toy collection back in the day. We're very familiar with the video games, of course, and the original movies. We saw a couple of the voice actors at Comic-Cons. So we're like, why don't we try podcasting? We have no idea how to do a podcast. We're familiar with live streaming on Twitch. We've done a couple how-to playthroughs, how-to videos in regards to Marvel Snap, and a couple other spots in video games. But nothing with podcasting, and I've seen a lot of good things before we got started. At that time, I only knew of the Turtle Tracks podcast, hosted by Brian Van Hooker, which I encourage all to check out. We actually had Brian on the show as one of my early guests last year. So we needed a cool name. And being a huge WWE fan, if you guys remember John Cena back in the day, he used to have his little Thugonomics. I always thought that was catchy. So why not Shellanomics? I really didn't want to have Teenage Mutant Ninja anywhere and play off those 4 words. That's been done time and time again. And Shellanomics, well, what is it going to be about? Well, we wanted to have something that touched on everything in the Ninja Turtle realms. We wanted to talk about video games, which is what we do a lot on our Twitch name. At the time, we were known as King Mictus. Eventually, we can fast forward here a bit. We did finally change our Twitch and all of our social media to Shellanomics. But at the time when we were doing this, we were just going to go with YouTube and trying to find a place for our podcast. Spotify for podcasters is a great site. I'm not getting paid to say this, but they have made things go very smooth for me. We have this on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, and iTunes. So, had a family friend come up with our logo. I said I wanted like a circular sewer with our name, and then if we can try and get the color bandanas and their weapons somewhere. So I love the logo. Next thing is, how are we going to get guests on the show? What are you going to do? Are you just going to do monologues? Are you going to get guests? So we reached out to a couple people, and we were very blessed to have Michelle Ivy interested. At the time also, we were planning our first Shell-A-Thon, but there was a big stop, which I haven't really talked about since this issue occurred last year. It's pretty remarkable, I would say, how we overcame this. So I guess we can relive this really quick in our history of streaming. On Twitch, we were accused of being a bot because we sent a couple whispers out to some of our followers on Twitch asking them to join our YouTube channel. And Twitch thought we were sending spam, and they removed us without even letting us try to appeal. No questions asked. So at that time, we had our Shell-A-Thon coming up in a couple of weeks, and our name was gone. I got an email from one of our mods, Ninja J. He said, Mike, where is your Twitch channel? It's gone. I was like, huh? I wake up and see an email that, yeah, we're deleted. So I had to make a big announcement in my Discord and said, hey, I'm not sure what happened, but it looks like Shell-A-Thon #1 may not even happen. But I'd like it to still happen. I just may not be able to be a part of it. And unfortunately, we were gone. But there were a couple friends at the time when I believe it was still, it may have been Twitter, it may have been X, but a lot of friends were adding Twitch support saying, hey, Mike's been a good dude. He's been a staple in the retro community for well over, at the time, 3 years in streaming. Very kind dude. This is just people were saying this about me, and they wanted to get me back on the platform as soon as possible. So miraculously, in the same day, we actually got unbanned. But more on that later. But I wanted to make sure I brought that into this podcast here just because that was kind of a really touching moment for me. Just, I never thought I'd hit 1,000 followers on Twitch, and to have them help me right there was huge, because Shellanomics may now never have gotten off the ground either, because, again, Twitch and YouTube for me kind of, go hand in hand. Usually a lot of our VODs from Twitch get played to YouTube, and sometimes we do a duo live stream on both platforms. So, let's get back to getting Michelle Ivy on the show. This was part of our Shell-A-Thon. We wanted to have her on for one day, and we'll get back to Shell-A-Thon, but they were supposed to go hand in hand as well. And, of course, you always remember your first. We were trying to do this through, I believe it was Zoom, and my audio wasn't getting through. So bless Michelle's heart. If I had a real voice actor or celebrity or somebody from a movie, they may have said, sorry, Mike, I'm not coming on again. My time is valuable, and while you're new at this, I don't have time to, wait around for you. So after about 20 minutes, we finally did get Michelle to chat with me, and we went for almost 2 hours of great content. I wanted her to share her story, even though she's probably done it multiple times. She has her own amazing YouTube channel and Instagram at Cowabunga Corner. I highly encourage you guys to check out those podcast interviews, because she would actually go to the person's house and do interviews, or a location, and they are phenomenal interviews. David Wise, Pat Fraley, Rob Paulson, tons and tons of fabulous content, especially even some of her own toy reviews and cartoon reviews are on there as well. So that was our first episode. Had a great time talking to her. She did even a little show and shell. She showed us her combat cold cuts from the Secret of the Ooze movie. We got to know a little bit more about that VH1 special. And with podcasting for me, I studied a lot. Kudos to Pat Flynn. I watched a lot of his videos, read his book, Superfans. He's got a lot of great content out there too, so kudos to you. And one of his great points is you want to try and get emotions involved in your podcast if you're doing interviews. So we talked a little bit about Michelle's past life, about her VH1, and what really went on, because they kind of did her wrong in that, in my opinion. While it's great to see Ninja Turtle fans out there, they kind of just made her like she was just a crazy person. And she's like, no, that's not what was supposed to happen. But that's how the media and VH1 was. They wanted her to say she was eating pizza every day, like all the time. And it's like, no. So I was very blessed to even actually call Michelle Ivy a friend of mine now. We actually had her on for a second show later on in Shellanomics. We reached out to a couple people. We didn't get responses, but that's part of the, journey. The ones who did reach out, I believe they were all really good interviews for a rookie. We had a lot of Kickstarter projects, which were really cool. One of the games is coming out soon. We had people who were working on a documentary here. And we also did our own little reviews, too. I wasn't sure I wanted to do those. Looking back, you just got to get some volume out there, because I wasn't really getting too many guests at the time. Was very blessed to meet Justin Cooper and Eric Will from Epic Tales from the Sewers. They've been on a couple times, helping us with some countdown shows. Our good streaming friend on Twitch, Vance Velez, helped us out with a video game stream, Talking Turtles 3. We've expanded that thanks to Sura Bushido and a couple others. We're giving you guys great tips, and Drifting Adams for the Nintendo Turtles. I've been on there with a couple playthroughs as well, back in my rookie days. We've come a long way with those. We had Ken Scott on here as well, guys. The actor in the shell, pretty much, in the turtle, in the first and second movie of Ninja Turtles. Ken was a great person. Got to meet him in person at a Comic-Con in 2025. Hope to have him on the show again to talk Turtles 2. Probably about a 5-hour podcast episode if I talk about everything here with who we've had on. Very thankful to everybody who's helped us out, especially B Mills, who is our audio man. I was just going to do these on YouTube, but he's been able to help me pull the audio, which has been nice for those who just like listening to audio on Spotify and whatnot. Another fast forward, TMNT Dare Talk, the German podcaster from Austria, has been really helping keeping our wheel spinning, so to speak, with his phenomenal Ninja Turtle knowledge, his passion for turtles. I really encourage you guys, even if you're listening to this right now, to hit pause on this podcast if you're listening to it, and just stop by his channel. I do understand you may not be able to understand the German, but he has a ton of English episodes. And he's got a great Instagram. He's a real good friend. And just talking with him every week just revitalizes why I enjoy doing these podcasts. Because we don't need to hit, maybe one day we'll hit 1,000 followers on Spotify. Who knows? But if just one of you guys out there is a diehard Turtle fan and you enjoy hearing my voice just talking turtles, I thank you. If this helps you get through the workday, or how I listen to podcasts, just, doing some cleaning around the house, listening to something that could be innovative, motivative, intellectual, depending if you're watching the tips and tricks videos here, or something more in-depth with the interviews, or just us going down with TMNT Dare Talk and myself, just talking about some of these seasons. I've had a lot of fun talking the 2003 series with TMNT Dare Talk. We're getting our own Shellanomics here as well, as we've been slowly reading the comics. We plan on having some of those episodes down the road. I'd love to get more guests. I'm going to try and reach out to some of the Saturday morning adventures, either the artists or the story writers. I love those because that's based on my 87 Ninja Turtles cartoon. We'll see if we can get some more celebrities on here. If you guys have any feedback for me, you can definitely hit me up on my Instagram at Shellanomics. I usually keep my DMs open. I can't get to everybody right away, but I do check those. We've had a couple cool toy collectors on here too on this show. I hope you guys have checked out those as well. So we have the Ninja Turtle universe is just, there's so much depth to it. It's just, it's something that this show could live on forever, depending how we go with our passion. And I appreciate you guys liking, sharing this with your friends. This has been one full year. Some people only do 2 podcasts and then phone it in. We have not done that. I kind of like where we're going with our channel in regards to breaking down series for you. I think after the 2003 series, I'd like to touch on the black and white comics that Eastman and Laird did. I picked up those books. Hopefully TMNT Dare Talk will be there for most of those. I'd like to get a couple more video game ones in for you. I kind of like paying it forward with those, with some tips that some of you guys may need to know in order to beat those games. Plus, it's just fun talking turtles with you with those. And yeah, that's our full year of Shellanomics. And now we're going to get into the Shell-A-Thon. So the Shell-A-Thon, for those who didn't hear the other podcast a while back, this was something that me and my streaming friends created. The first one I thought was going to be the only one. It was just to celebrate 40 years of Ninja Turtles. With the help of the Cowabunga collection, we were able to do a full day of live streaming on Twitch. And everybody, it was kind of like a fantasy football draft. We all picked different video games to play. I started off at about 6 a.m. with the arcade games. And then we went into Alpha, who played the Game Boy games. Then we went into Earth to Hunter, who was trying Turtles in Time. Then we went to Olipop with some speed runs with no Donatello. So forth and so forth. We had 8 of us, plus 1 who helped out because one of our friends couldn't make it due to the weather, and he was a little afraid that his computer might break. No harm, no foul. But our good friend Olipop came back on and beat the speedrun without using Donatello for Turtles for Nintendo, which was great. That was in the summer, June 28th, I believe, or was it? I believe it was the 29th. I'm not going to edit this again. I said I wouldn't, but I believe it was June 28th or 29th, the first ever Shell-A-Thon. We had a decent turnout. Winter comes around, 2025, and people are talking, are you ever going to do a second one? Well, I don't know how we could, but I guess we can give it a shot. So we went from 1 full day to 3 days. And we had a lot of new streaming friends along the way. Some did some more challenging plays, like a Hyperstone Heist No Continues try. Spoiler, we got that in the 3rd Shell-A-Thon, not the 2nd one, but it was a good try. We had a lot more friends, and it was starting to build. Even made a couple of t-shirts on our Shellanomics store. What was nice about this one was just seeing more people come together, because that's what Turtles has always done for me. You know, you vision yourself. Yeah, I grew up in the 80s and 90s. Walk into Little Caesars, believe it or not, actually used to have an arcade. That's where I used to get most of my Ninja Turtle fix on, at the arcade. And it was just, I just remember just great experiences. You would go in, I'd always try to get Michelangelo, and if there was 1, 2, or 3 people playing, you would just work together. And usually at arcades, you're competing against one another, whether it's the high score for Donkey Kong, or you're playing, well, at the time, Mortal Kombat wasn't out, but there were just so many games where you'd have to go head-to-head. And in the Turtle Arcade games, you had to work together. And you never really yelled at anybody. You would just cheer each other on. And eventually, we did beat that game. I finally got in late and asked my mom for $5, but we finally did get to take on Shredder and Krang at the Technodrome, and that was just such a cool experience. And that's what Turtle Gaming's always done for me. It's just brought people together. And to see the second Shell-A-Thon where people were getting so hyped and they're like, what is this? This seems really, really cool. Like, what a great idea. So you can say I created the Shell-A-Thon technically if you want to get there with the name and how we do this. But without the viewers and the streamers, this would be nothing. And I do my best to pick communities that are safe. You know, in the world we live in now, there's a lot of my Discord and most of my socials, we really don't talk about political religion. We just want to just talk about games and networking and having fun. And I would say all the streamers so far in all 3 Shell-A-Thons have been safe in regards to being like judge free. You can be who you are there. We're very positive people. We encourage to network with others. What I like is, I would say, I can't speak for everybody, but I'd like to say just about everybody we have in there would give you the shell off their back, so to speak, if you needed it. Everybody shared the love. Nobody so far in the second one, we'll get to the third one soon, but in the second one as well, everybody stopped by another person's channel. And again, this is not anything that's making a lot of money. We just do it for fun and just hang out. Streamers, some can make a good buck at this, but most of us, maybe a couple bucks here and there through ads and a couple subs and bits on Twitch. That's where we've been doing our Shell-A-Thons. But it's just for the love of turtles and just the love of gaming. And I try to give everybody a different game that I think they have good experience with, or if they want to tackle a challenge. What I really enjoyed was, I won't be able to name every streamer here, but I give big props to Simon Ashcheer, because for the second Shell-A-Thon, he actually stopped by our YouTube channel trailer and said, hey, you got to get out of the shadows in here. And Simon was a huge success to our Shell-A-Thon, because at the time, I didn't want to do just a 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. run. I wanted to do 24 hours nonstop. I thought this is something that may have never been done and may never be done again. So we went, I believe, was 2.5 days, couple hours for every streamer. And everybody had a good time. And the best part about it is just when you see your streaming friends actually network and make newer friends. And for those who stream on Twitch, you do know it's a tough grind. Some can make it big and you get maybe 50, 75, 100 views. The big guys can get, in the thousands. But another reason I like Shell-A-Thon is we all get our little moment where we have, all eyes on us for a couple hours. And it's turtle games. That's it. I mean, you guys just don't understand how much turtles have had a positive impact on my life. And being 40 years right now, it's really cool to actually say I've made a lot of friends through turtles from my childhood in regards to just hanging out with kids at school. You were a cool kid if you enjoyed turtles. To high school, we found a forum site called the Technodrome. Made a couple good friends there, talking about the old cartoons. From there, we went to Facebook. And I know Facebook gets a lot of hate now because of what you see on there, but at the time, it was awesome. And it's still pretty good for what I go for there with. It's just the Facebook groups. We just see turtles and talk turtles. Without those groups, I wouldn't have had the biggest Ninja Turtle toy collection out there. Not the biggest in the world, but for me, you guys can check out my Instagram or in our Discord if you'd like to join sometime, as long as you're 18 of age and up. We got a huge turtle toy collection thanks to those groups. We had the giant turtles. We never had the troll turtles, but we did have the movie stars. And then from there, Twitch brought us a lot of people. So we go from the second Shell-A-Thon, which was a huge success, and that was the winter of 2025. We had an event. I do have to bring this up because this is something that was a little punch to the gut. But we had a good, podcast has been rolling. The Shell-A-Thon's been rolling. So why not try an IRL event, which means in real life? And we tried it. We were going to call it the Shellanomics Summit. We had a real cool friend of ours, Chris, who worked on an awesome design for us that we were going to give out to anybody who attended. Our good friend Justin from Epic Tales from the Sewers was helping us behind the scenes. We had a couple sponsors in regards to getting the artwork printed on paper for no cost. We had a badge. We had our friend Cowabunga Mikey for a cosplayer to be a guest. Michelle Ivy said she was going to attend. We did our homework and asked people around who said they would be interested, and they said they would. The price we had didn't scare them off. We had a Holiday Inn event planner that was having our backs. He was ready for us to go. We had a date planned. And I wanted to do that. Hopefully have some live streaming friends come on in to meet. Again, just the event. People said they were up for it. But when we had a chance to sell tickets, we didn't really get many sales. We actually even had keychains and some other prizes. I spent a good buck on Amazon getting some games. So the Shellanomics Summit was going to have 2 hotel rooms. One was going to be all video games. Justin was going to bring his Turtles arcade. We were going to have 3 TVs. Nintendo Switch on one with Shredder's Revenge and Splintered Fate. Another TV with a Turtles in Time Speedrun Challenge and the Cowabunga Collection. And another TV with more of an old school feel with your Nintendo and Super Nintendo gaming. Other room was going to be board games and reading, some trivia, a couple panels. Just, I'm not sure what happened, but at the end of the day, we didn't get many sales, and I had to pull the plug. Little punch in the gut, but hey, it's one of those things in life where they always say you never know unless you try. And I don't really consider it a failure. It helped boost my confidence in regards to talking to people, getting negotiations down for prices. And I had a lot of fun talking and networking with Justin and Chris. So, anyways, that's how Shell-A-Thon 3 was coming to be. We wanted to do it in the summer. And I said, I don't think I could ever do this, but could we just go a full week, 24/7, literally a full week of just Ninja Turtle content? How cool would that be? I needed to get a lot more streamers. I needed some to work the quote-unquote graveyard shift. And I needed people to be open and willing to play a couple of different games. Most of the games we've been streaming have been just the retro, but we wanted to expand it a little bit. We wanted to get a little more creative. I pushed a couple people, not to their limits, but out of their comfort zone in regards to going a little longer. And it was a success. We did a 24-hour stream on my channel. Those who are worried about me in 24 hours, do not worry. We did have a replay up. We did get some sleep. But it was great. We were able to check out just about every streamer that went live. A couple people had to cancel. Totally fine. Again, when you have 35 people. Again, if you guys didn't check out our YouTube shorts and Instagram, we went from 8 to 9 people for Shell-A-Thon 1 to about, I believe, 15 for the second one. And then this one, we had 35 people. We sold a lot of merch, which means a lot to me because the t-shirt, yes, I do get a couple dollars for it from Fourth Wall. Thank you very much. But it's just a little commemorative memento to just say you've been a part of something special. Like, it's almost the Shell-A-Thoners, as we call our little group, kind of like a family now. And it was just nice to see, streaming-wise, we had maybe 8 to 10 people in Shell-A-Thon 1 per stream. Shell-A-Thon 2, maybe 10 to 18 people. Shell-A-Thon 3, I can say, consistently had about 20 to 30 people in every stream, which is awesome. When you have that many people in a chat, even if you're just lurking, it's just nice to see that number. Making new friends, talking turtles, getting excited, cheering the other person on and beating a new video game. It was just a great experience. We went Saturday, June 28th, which was supposed to be our Shellanomics Summit date, to pretty much a full Saturday, came to a head and ended with our buddy Vance Velez, who has closed out the last 2 Shell-A-Thons. And I have no problem closing these out with Vance. He is very passionate about this. He was in almost as many streams as I was, chatting with everybody, making jokes, making people feel comfortable. And what I really liked about these Shell-A-Thons is it's not really about the gaming or the content. I rarely see anybody in these streams backseat somebody saying, hey, don't forget to turn left. Hey, don't forget to use your special attack, unless somebody wants help, like I've wanted help. in a couple of games, which has been great. But yeah, some people don't. And just seeing people cheer on one another, seeing the new friends. Duggar Video Games told me on the side, he's like, Mike, views are cool, but at the end of the day, I've made so many friends now thanks to this event. And he's like, I hope you run these, you know, whether it's once a year, twice a year. He's like, you know, continue to do this. It was a grind for me. I ended up actually streaming every day, which is not good. Some of those were replays, but we did it for a full week. I still can't believe it. A full week of just Ninja Turtle gaming content. And it was different games, too, for every platform. We got creative with puzzles. We did art. We did just chatting and trivia. For if we ever do a Shell-A-Thon 4, one spoiler I will reveal is I have talked to a new friend, and they said they would be down for trying to make Sims Ninja Turtles. So I think a Sims Ninja Turtle stream would definitely be a ultra hype to get a part of Shell-A-Thon 4. Trying to think if there's anything else I'd like to say. I know this is going to be kind of a shorter podcast because it's just a monologue, but a half-hour monologue right around there should be good enough. Anything else I really want to say about this event? You know, it was just really wholesome to see everybody come together. And it looks like this might be something to stay. Again, this doesn't have to be mainstream. I'm very happy with where we are. We had 35 of us. I guess a fun goal, I'll announce this here on our podcast. Maybe we can get to 50 different streamers. It's going to be a bit of a challenge, again, with scheduling and whatnot. But it's definitely going to be a little different next time around. I don't, probably wasn't healthy for me to be looking at the computer a lot last week. But we made it pulled off, and it's just something cool. Because like Master Splinter says in one of the old Fred Wolf Ninja Turtle episodes, it's amazing what one can do when one is forced to. So I wasn't forced to stop by all these streams, but we just got out of our comfort zone, and we had a damn good time. So to see all those community games too, we had Fall Guys with turtle skins, Call of Duty with turtle skins. I know Shredder's Revenge is always a good time with people coming on in there. So yeah, that was Shell-A-Thon 3. So for those who are listening to this on Spotify or YouTube and you have no idea what Shell-A-Thon is, it's just a whole bunch of Twitch streamers that myself and others have come together, and we just play turtle games for a couple days. Right now, as I am saying this on recording this July 10th, 2025, I kind of would like to keep it at maybe 2 Shell-A-Thons per year. One in the wintertime and one in the summertime, because that's where my work schedule, as of now, I'm usually off that full week in the winter around Christmas and New Year's, and off around the 4th of July, so that's where I'd like to keep them. We do appreciate any feedback from you guys, so thank you, the viewers who have stopped by there, and if you're interested in getting to know more about that, you can stop by our YouTube channel. We had a preview video up there that talks about Shell-A-Thon 3 before it happened. But this was just to celebrate and a quick little recap. I just, again, want to thank all the Shell-A-Thoners who participated. And whether you've been in all 3 or just one of them, thank you for that. Whether you were a viewer or you raided into us, so a raid on Twitch is just sending your folks from one channel to the next, and we were thankful for that. That helped us grow a lot more as well. But yeah, we're about at 30 minutes in here. We are celebrating again 1 full year of the Shellanomics brand. I actually had to call a friend of mine to say, hey, do you think it's a wise move to just go all Shellanomics on all of our channels? And they said, Mike, go for it. Your real friends aren't going to leave you. You might get a couple off base because they don't know what a Shellanomics is, but most of you all have stuck around with me. I'm very thankful for that. On our YouTube channel, we still do retro video games and first-time playthroughs. I was thinking of making it all Ninja Turtles, but sometimes I still like to reach out. But for our podcast, we'll see what happens in the next year. Again, we thank you very much for whether you've listened to one episode, liked the podcast, shared a podcast with a friend. Feel free to get in touch with me, guys. kingmiketus@gmail.com. If you're a Ninja Turtle fan, we could talk turtles. If you have somebody you recommend for the show, let me know. Maybe we can get them on here. I've had a lot of fun getting to know fans. That's kind of my strong point. I just love hearing other Ninja Turtle fan stories. We've had a lot of good ones on the show, and hopefully we can bring you guys many more. So to Shellanomics, to Shell-A-Thon, and to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, May we continue to get a whole bunch of abundance of new content. And we hope to see you guys back real soon. Thank you so much for listening.